I've been a fan of both Star Wars and Star Trek for a very long time, and I always wanted to make the Millennium Falcon and the USS Enterprise. But then I thought, why not make both of them at the same time? So, in this video, I'm going to show you guys how I made the USS Millennium, a mashup of both the USS Enterprise and the Millennium Falcon. I've been making these for almost 2.5 months, but most of the time was spent in painting and detailing. As you can see, it's one heck of a spaceship. Because this is such a huge build, I have decided to split it in two parts. In this part, I am going to show you how I made the saucer and the nacelle of the USS Millennium. And in the next part, I am going to show you guys how I did the painting and the detailing of the spaceship. So let's jump right into the build, and welcome to Hunter's Table. To make the saucer of the spaceship, I used the front cover of my table fan because it has a nice dome shape in it. I put some paper on it using masking tape, and I marked it so that I could cut it easily. Then I transferred the template into a piece of extended polystyrene. Now I am using EPS because it's easier to get in our country, but you can use any kind of foam you want. After transferring the template into the foam, I marked it because I'm gonna cut it into smaller pieces to make the dome shape. Then I used a box cutter to cut all the smaller pieces of the foam and placed it over the table fan cover and used PVA glue to glue them together. After gluing all the pieces, I mixed some water with the glue and started pasting tissue paper onto it. I covered the whole thing with 2 layers of tissue paper. This was the top part. I made the bottom part using the same process. I cut a smaller piece from a shuttlecock container to use it as an internal column and glued it to one side. I cut some smaller wedges of foam and glued it too. I used a lot of glue to glue the top and the bottom piece together, and used masking tape so the pieces won't move. I thought I recorded the video where I used foam and other stuff to make it look more like the Millennium Falcon, but unfortunately I didn't. And I pasted a layer of newspaper onto it without recording it. Anyway, for the cockpit I used a small bottle and the rest of them was foam. I tried to sand it using some sandpaper, but it was shaking my camera, so I decided not to record it. But I sanded it anyway. Then I used a piece of boxboard and cut it in the shape of panel lines and glued them into the saucer. The smaller piece of paper was really hard to cut, but I managed it anyway. As you guys can see, I kept a wide gap while making the panel lines. Later, I will add the name of the spaceship here. By the way, if you guys want to make only the Millennium Falcon, you can follow the process of step 1 and build your own Millennium Falcon. Now we move on to the nacelle. I used this picture of the USS Enterprise as a guide and draw the two nacelles and the secondary hull. Again, I transferred the template into some EPS and cut them out. After that, I used glue on both sides of the boxboard and stick the two pieces of foam with the paper. This gives me a solid foundation to work with. Then I used more foam to make the basic shape of the nacelle. In the series and movies, the nacelles are in an angle with the hull. So I cut a piece of foam to match the angle and glued the whole thing into the secondary hull. After gluing, I shortened the nacelle because I will add another piece at the end portion of the nacelle that will make it hollow. I used some jelly container to make the small dome shape in front of the nacelles. I also cut a foam to match the jelly container and fix them in front of the nacelle. I used 3 more smaller circles of foam so that I could wrap some paper onto them and it will stay strong. I cut some boxboard and bent them in a cone shape so that it will go nicely over the nacelle, and I used a lot of glue and masking tape to make sure that it stays on them. So you guys remember that I told you that I didn't record the video when I put a layer of newspaper onto the saucer? Well, I did the newspaper pasting on the saucer and the nacelle at the same time, so I don't have video of pasting newspaper onto the nacelle either. Then I used another piece of shuttlecock container as the front of the secondary hull and used a foam to fill the gap. I used more cutout pieces of that to build the shape and fill the gaps with more foam. There is a top part on the nacelles in the Star Trek 2009 version, and I cut it from another piece of shuttlecock container. I hope you guys enjoyed the part 1 of this build. See you in part 2.